Hello everyone, my name is Jose Garcia, and in this video I'm going to show you a little bit on arrangements and how do you use them. This is the NX 1953 series, which means that everything I show you here will work up to 1965. You can also open files from 1965 in this version. So as you can see, I have a very simple assembly here, just two links kind of stacked on top of each other. I have not constrained them at all. But if you look at my assembly navigator over here, I have one main parent, which is called Model 1, and the children are Model 2 and Model 3. Now, in this case, I am going to constrain these. So I'm going to come up here into Assemblies. I will choose Assembly Constraints. And right now, these things have absolutely no constraints whatsoever. I am actually going to fix the big link over here. So I'm going to click it. And then I will modify this brown link. Now it can be a little hard to click, so I'm just going to move my mouse over here and leave it there for a couple seconds until I can kind of move it. And it looks like it's not cooperating, so I'll just move it the more difficult way, which is by using a move component. So I can say move component. I'll click the first link here, model number 2, and I'll just drag it out. I will assign a constraint here. So I'm going to do a touch. I want this face here to touch this face here, which is fine. And I want a concentric between this edge of the hole here and that edge of the hole. There's 1 degree of freedom still, which is the ability to rotate. So I will set an angular constraint between this face here and that face there. And of course I can enter a number here. Let's say that I choose 10. It looks like that. 0 looks like this. 90 looks like this. 180 is like that. And 270 is like that. Now you can imagine that showing this to higher ups is a little bit of a pain in the butt, because let's say you want to show this thing in different configurations. You would have to go into this constraint and change it 4 times. I don't know about you, but that does not sound pleasant to me. So that's where arrangements come into play. So let's put this bat actually in its default position there, which is the 180 degree angle, and say OK. Now I'm going to come over here into the Assemblies tab, and there's a special button here called Arrangements. So once you click it, you should see that there already is one arrangement here. This is the default arrangement, which is the one that you cannot really edit at all. But we're going to create a separate arrangement. I'm going to hit New Arrangement here. And I can give this a name. I'll call this the 90 position. I'll create another one for 270 position. And of course, I would do this over and over again for as many positions as I want, but in this case, I will just do 2 positions. I will close this guy out, and now we are ready to create some arrangements. I think you will agree with me that if I click on this guy here and say show degrees of freedom, there will be no degrees of freedom. As a matter of fact, if you look down there, it says there are no degrees of freedom. So let's go over here into this little guy, which is the Constraint Navigator. Click it, and you should see all of the constraints that you have applied so far. The one that we really want to modify is the angle here. So I can right click on it, and then I can say Arrangement Specific. As you can see now, there's a little yellow icon next to it. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is there. And now we have to specify what arrangement we want to modify. If you go back over here into the Arrangements window, you can double click on the 90 position, and you will see that there is a little check mark next to it. I will do the same thing to this one. I will right click on that angle constraint and say Arrangement Specific. There's that same exact little icon over here. Now we can double click on this constraint and we can edit it. So I'm going to go ahead and enter a value of 90 Okay. Now before we exit this menu here, I'm going to go into the settings, and where it says arrangements, I'm going to go ahead and say apply to used. I'm going to hit OK on that. And now we have successfully created the 90 position arrangement. We now need to go over to the other arrangement, which is the 270. Double click it. Right click on this angle again and say arrangement specific. You can then right click on this, and then you can go ahead and say edit. It's the exact same thing as double clicking. You can then enter a value of 270 in here, and again make sure to set your arrangement to apply to used, which it already is, and we can hit OK. If you go back to the arrangements now, we have 3 arrangements, and you're probably wondering, hey, why did you set the arrangement number 1 to arrangement specific? The only reason I did that is, just in case I want to change this value here, I can remember that it's an arrangement specific value by having this little yellow box next to the constraint. That's the only reason. Other than that, I have no reason that I made it into a specific arrangement. Nonetheless, however, if I double click on these arrangements, you can see now that they display their arrangement, and I can modify these as I see fit. So I hope that gave you a little bit of insight on arrangements. If you have any further questions, do not hesitate to ask them below. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.